Hi everyone, this is Renee from the blog LiveLifefromScratch.com, and today is gonna be a busy day. Today is gonna be a busy day. I have to do some recipe testing, final twists and tweaks on the recipe. You can probably find it on the blog by the time this video is coming online. Tom has a soccer game, or a football game, football match as we call it in Europe. And we're gonna eat some homemade burgers today, and I'm gonna make my brioche buns from scratch. So join along! Almost every morning we eat oatmeal porridge as breakfast. To spice things up a bit, I went searching for a little twist on the classic porridge recipe. I found several recipes for blended oats and baked oats, so I thought to give it a try and blend the oats first and then bake them. You can twist and tweak this recipe so it will be perfect for your own liking. In this basic recipe I use 1 cup of oats. You can use rolled oats or just regular oats. You're gonna blend them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Then 1 ripe banana, 1½ cups of fresh milk, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I love to use my homemade vanilla extract. You can check the recipe on the blog. I'll add the link down below in the description. Furthermore, you'll need ½ teaspoon of baking powder. If you don't have any baking powder, you can use 1/8 teaspoon of baking soda with 1/4 teaspoon vinegar or lemon juice. You'll notice nothing from the vinegar or lemon juice because the baking soda will convert it into carbon dioxide and water. This will make your baked oats rise a bit. To add a little more taste, I've added 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Start with preheating your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. Then blend 1 cup of oats with your blender. This could be an immersion blender, regular blender, NutriBullet, spice grinder and so on. It doesn't really matter. Then add all the dry ingredients and mix well. Combine the banana, the milk, the maple syrup and the vanilla extract until you have a smooth, creamy mixture. Add the dry and wet ingredients and blend until everything is well combined. Well, this happens when your husband is playing football and you'll have to watch the children and make a video. Pour it into a greased baking dish or small oven dishes. Put it in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes and enjoy your blended and baked oats. I've uploaded this basic recipe on the blog and added 5 recipes that are my personal favorites. You can twist and tweak all you want until you find your own personal favorite. You just have to be a little creative. But I find that oatmeal is very versatile. And you can almost add everything to it and it will still be delicious. I'll put a link to the blog post down in the description. First of all, we're gonna make a tangzong. I don't know if I have the right pronunciation of tangzong. It's a mixture of flour and milk. We heat the milk and flour while stirring it until it thickens, and it shouldn't get above 65 degrees Celsius. Then we let it cool to room temperature, and then we can use it in our further recipe of the brioche buns. So let's start with it. We're going to use this thermometer. I'll put this in the milk. I'll set the temperature to the right one, to 65 degrees Celsius. And if it reaches that temperature, an alarm will go off and I know it's ready to go. But first we're gonna measure the ingredients. We are going to need 100 grams of milk and 20 grams of flour. Give it a shake. We can always add more liquid or flour if it's too wet or dry. So 65 degrees Celsius is about 149 degrees Fahrenheit. When the tang zong is ready, you can put it aside on your countertop and let it cool to room temperature, and then we can use it in our dough. So for the dough we need about 500 grams flour, 145 milliliters of milk. We will scald the milk so it will be adapted more easier in the dough. Then we use 9 grams of dried yeast, 60 grams of sugar, 11 grams of salt, 2 eggs and 75 grams of butter at room temperature. And first of all we're going to add all the ingredients except for the butter. So let's go. After I added all the ingredients to the mixing bowl, I'll give it a good stir, because if I don't and put the mixing bowl into the stand mixer and start kneading it, I always have to stop because not all the ingredients are incorporated in the dough, and I have to take the mixing bowl out of it and give it a stir and put it back. So if you do that beforehand, you just can start kneading it and it will be fine. You can check if your dough is ready and you can stop kneading by doing a window pane test. You perform a window pane test by taking a little bit of dough and stretching it out between your fingers. If you can always see through it and it doesn't break, then you know it's ready and you can stop kneading. You can take out your dough from your mixing bowl and put it in a lightly greased oven dish or pan or mixing bowl covered with plastic wrap, your choice. I seasoned the burgers with salt, pepper, oregano, rosemary, curry, paprika and basil. And as an experiment I also added a tablespoon of cocoa powder, but I didn't taste that in the burgers. I wouldn't do that next time I'm making burgers. We used pasture beef from a butcher who only uses organic meat. We have a large freezer and buy our meat in bulk. I also used some breadcrumbs and eggs and some shallot and garlic to spice the burgers up a bit. When the burger buns are almost doubled in size, you can preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 356 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can bake your buns for about 20 minutes until they are nicely browned. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video and please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope to see you next time!